And you have showed up for an auspicious little set. Let's start it off. This is called Caramelize. Skin is smooth like porcelain, lips like cherry wine, and toss and turn and well it never ends. I like your kind, I like your style, I like your face, I like the way you wear your face. Well, it never runs, it never fails to come alive and caramelize. Breath is sweet like a hyacinth, eyes so deep and white. You crush and curve and well it never ends. Come inside, well I like your style, I like your grace, I like the way you wear your face. It never runs, it never fails to come alive, caramelize. Hair is brown like cinnamon, thighs so milky white. Well, your legs are longer than anything, so please come inside. Well, I like your style, I like your grace, and I like the way you wear your face. It never runs and it never fails to come alive, caramelize. Caramelize. Thanks for being here. My name is Benjamin Wagner. 16 years ago, roughly to the night, ends up it was March 25th, but you know, close enough for rock and roll. I was playing a rock show, my first, at Rockwood Music Hall. Rockwood was open a couple of weeks at this point. And as it ends up, it was just a really important night, and a lot of you may already know the story, or at least some reason why the story bears repeating. Certainly my friends at Rockwood Music Hall do. They've helped me celebrate it for all the years. But what I haven't ever done, and what I thought would be an interesting thing to do as I played my first, sort of Rockwood show from home, and as I looked back on that date, is to actually look at the songs. A lot of these haven't been played in years. Caramelize, I can't tell you the last time I played. And a little bit about Caramelize, I was ripping off Prince. Actually, I was ripping off Dan Wilson, who was ripping off Prince. Dan Wilson of Semisonic, and they just put out a record called Chemistry. It's all about chemistry. And I thought, I'm gonna try and write a song that's kind of sexy. So Caramelize is like the idea of sugar being caramelized, right? So it's something super, super sweet and kind of burned. But it's also caramel color eyes, brown-eyed girl. That's what I was thinking anyway. But what's so interesting in terms of starting the set that night that way, back in 2005, is I was at the end of just 20 years of chronic monogamy failure. And I'm pretty sure my mother-in-law is watching, so Gail, you know the story. And I know you recommended to the contrary, but I was really in a bad spot. And so it's interesting to listen to these songs through that lens, particularly through the lens of romance, right? As well, of failed romance, but also, a real sense that maybe rock and roll wasn't happening for me. So if you hold those two things, check this second song out. It's called Live Forever. I don't wanna live forever feeling this way. The threat of stormy weather, wasting every day. The fear that every endeavor is destined to fail. I won't make it, I won't fake it. No, 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 because there's nothing left here for me. There's nothing left these dreams. Nothing left to say but live forever today. Nothing left here to do forever for you. I don't wanna live forever. I just wanna know that there's something better than a rock and roll show. That there's something greater than the sound of applause. I won't make it, I won't fake it, no, no, because there's nothing left for me. There's nothing left but these dreams. There's nothing left here to say but live forever today. There's nothing left here to do forever for you. But live forever today. There's nothing left here to do forever for you. For you. So Live Forever went on to become, I think mostly because my pal Chris, hi Chris, hi Meg, that my pal Chris and I loved playing it, that song, and it became a show closer. It's still a show closer. Last time I played it, I'm sure we closed it. So it's super audacious to put it second, and I think it's because we hadn't discovered that it was a show closer. I'd only played 1 or 2 shows with Chris at that time, and one of my favorite parts of that song now is looking at him because he sings back up to the line "rock and roll show," and you know, for the longest time, I couldn't imagine anything more important or more vital or more dynamic than a rock and roll show, right? But I had to laugh because 25 minutes ago I was downstairs running multiplication equations with my eldest, and I think that's kind of the journey I wanted to mark here tonight. The idea that, you know, here I am trying to figure out what's more important, what's bigger, what's more meaningful than music or rock and roll, or trying to make my way through the sort of morass of Manhattan dating, and I'm a wreck, and I'm giving up, man. I've thrown in the towel, right? So that's the spot we're in when this song comes up. I don't know. Suddenly, so I'm doing something, a couple of things different tonight. One is one of the things I'm doing differently tonight is I'm playing my Taylor GS Mini, which I don't normally play live, but has really become my favorite guitar because it's so darn playable. The other thing I'm doing is sitting down. So, hey, make yourself at home. Maybe you're sitting in bed. Maybe the phone's right here. Great. Let's chill. This is called Saint Anne of the Silence. Baby, stop and rest a while. Maybe waste wasted all your time. Didn't see warning signs that grows in the sky. So baby, stop and stay right. Maybe you walked too many miles. You didn't see the scenery that grows in the sky. Time, do the math until you get it right. Saying it is a lie, baby. Finding something new, maybe it's a deeper shade of blue. Scenery's nothing more than something else to do. Take your time. The math until you get it right. Saint Anne is alive. Take your time. Do the math until you take your time, spin around until you've lost your mind. Well, Saint Anne is silent. Saint Anne is silent. Anne is silent. Saint Anne is silent. So Saint Anne is, she is a person, I know, a family friend. She's not actually a saint, not sure she knows it's about her, but she is silent, she is quiet, she is still, she is calm, and she was going through a tough patch. She had and who knows why I wrote the song, but I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about just, maybe how you assess where you are as you move through, and that maybe calmness, maybe stillness was something to seek and something to, take in. But moreover, it became a point in the set where the band could relax a little bit, although I didn't quite right there. So to fit you into the context of the time, thanks for those who are just joining. My name is Ben from Wagner. Tonight I'm performing the near exact same set list that I performed 16 years ago at my very first Rockwood Music Hall show. Rockwood had been open just a few weeks, and as it ends up, it was a huge night in my life. And if you don't know why, then I encourage you to stick around for the reveal. If you do know why, then share it in the comments. I don't know. You can share an article from the New York Times. So in 2005, I had just released a record called Love and Other Indoor Games, a reference to Judy Blume. The first Judy Blume book just showed up in the house for my daughters this weekend, which is scary. I love her. And I just put out a record called Almost Home. The next few songs were from that record. And at the time I was touring for music before I started touring for my day job around the world. And I met a woman in a coffee shop in North Carolina somewhere. She was working on a book called Intent on St. Paul. This is that title in my song. Stephanie says she's crying again. Takes her things, she leaves. Down at the station, she puts on her makeup. Feels herself starting to breathe. To run. No place to go. all day, back to the wall, running away to the heart of it all. Your intent on St. Paul. Stephanie says she's thinking again. She can't seem to believe the whole conversation. We just left her impatient. Figure that maybe she needs to run. There's no place to go, to hide. Nobody knows. And the view out the window means nothing at all. Staring all day with your back to the wall. Now you're running away to the heart of it all. Your intent on St. Paul. Stephanie said that it's all in her head and laser things at your knees. Without reservation, without hesitation. Figure that maybe you need to run. There's no place to go, to hide. But nobody knows that the view out the window means nothing at all. Staring all day with your back to the wall. Now you're running away to the heart of it all. Your intent on your intent on your intent on St. Paul. Yeah, that's been a long time. Intent on St. Paul. She did finish the book, I think. I played her living room a couple of years later. Awesome person. Ends up, a certain young woman who's about to enter the scene, enter the story, may have been in the Carolinas at that time. So the year is roughly 2005. 2001, September 11th, wasn't that far. We were still, we are still, but we were certainly still wrestling with some of the repercussions at the time. And this is a song I had written on 9/11. I was living in Hell's Kitchen. I was on my way to the post office to drop postcards in the mail, because that's how you hyped a show back then, for a new record called Crash Site, which had a plane crashing on the front. I was walking to the post office, Radio City post office station, on 9/11 at about 8:30 and whatever time in the morning, and I saw the fires and did not send the postcards. Sidebar, met Mr. Rogers just a week prior. That whole story is around the same time. But we didn't have a television at the time. So other than what I saw with my own eyes, there wasn't anything to see. And it was scary as hell. It was scary as hell anyway. It was really scary to have no mental pictures. And so I went where I often go, which is song. And this is a song about looking for your favorite song. Yeah. It's called Radio. Morning creeps in, cold again, wrapped up in dreams about you. Coffee stains, yeah, the nicotine is bitter, lonesome, cool. Switch on that old radio, search for our favorite song, the one that we sang while the world it was ending. It was clever and simple. We sang along, we sang sha-la-la-la. Sha-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la. Afternoon, the rain starts to fall on you like a Hollywood film. Roses that wilted and memory stings. The radio crackles, singing he sings, he sings. Sha-la-la-la, la-la-la-la. Sha-la-la, sha-la-la-la. Sha-la-la, la-la-la, sha-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la. Once in a lifetime, once in your, you ever get it half right, then it slips away. Nightfall returns again. I climb back in my bed. Outside the windowsill, everything's quiet still, except the voices inside my head. They sing sha-la-la-la, la-la-la, sha-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. La la la, sha la la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la la, sha la 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 la. Getting back to where she came from, the broken part of a broken town. Getting back to where it went wrong. Takes a lot just to get it down. It's killing me. It's getting harder to believe. Just hold on a little while. Getting back to code subtraction. Broken part of a broken town. Getting back to old distractions. Takes a lot just to get it down. It's killing me. It's getting harder to believe. Just hold on a little while. getting back where she came from. Empty hope miles around, getting back resignation. Takes a lot just to get it down. It's killing me. It's getting harder to believe. Just hold on a little while. It's killing me. Getting harder to believe. Just hold on a little while. Little while. Little while. Yeah, yeah. It's killing me. It's getting harder to believe. Just hold on a little while. I wrote that song that dark, dark, dark winter of 2005. You know, spent a lot of time alone in my apartment that winter. Super cold. It's like, bro, you gotta get comfortable with being lonesome, get comfortable being alone, whatever. You need to be able to stand on your own too. Not this chronic monogamy baloney, right? So this is the context. 35. You know, my professional career is working, but my music career, Rockwood Music Hall notwithstanding, you know, it's fine. I'd had a mid-size iTunes hit with Leaving on a Jet Plane, my cover of the John Denver Chestnut. I didn't even think you'd call it a modest hit. Anyway, we're here to celebrate that night because it's a big night. As I wrote in my newsletter, and if you don't get my newsletter, go to benjaminwagner.com, sign up. It is full of newslettery goodness every Thursday in your inbox. You know, I lost my, as I said in the newsletter this morning, it's rare that there's a moment when you can actually point and say, it all changed right there. At least, I don't have a lot of them. Not in the same way. Not that lead us here. You know, not that lead to the, you know, beautiful house with the beautiful wife and the, how did I get here? Well, I know how I got here. This is how we got here, people. So glad you're here with me. And this one's great. So the next song is called I'll Be Waiting. It was kind of like an anthemic toss-away rocker. I wrote it in rehearsal. The one time Tony Maselli, shout out to Tony Maselli, could not make rehearsal, a gig. And my pal Jeff Demansky, shout out Jeff Demansky, sat in with us for rehearsal. And I just started playing this riff. I mean, not much to it. But I started singing over it, and I liked it, and I recorded it, and made it kind of a big, dumb, fun rocker. If you listen real close, it's on a record called Almost Home. It's on Spotify, iTunes, etc. You'll hear my pal Robert Mancini. He puts up "Yeah" right in the bridge section that you hear in a second. But it just ends up that months later, the woman who walked in the room that night, so she's in the room now somewhere, but I haven't met her. Right, 2005 Rockwood Music Hall. Months later, when we're dating, a little spoiler alert, I check if she's listening to me on her iTunes, and she's listening to this particular song many, many times. I still tease her about it. She has only recently copped to it a tiny bit. So, check it out. It's called I'll Be Waiting. I'll be waiting. Conversation is not through. This is a message to you. If I could take back all the time, if I could leave it all behind, build a bridge on this divide. Yeah, yeah, yeah. just make up my mind. Leave the consequence behind. Tell you once, 1,000 times, yeah, 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 yeah. I'll be waiting. This conversation is not through. This is a message to you. I'll be waiting. This resignation is overdue. This is a message to you. Yeah! Is it not, bro? This is a message to you. Well, I'll be waiting. This resignation is overdue. This is a message to you. This is a message to you. This is a message. Cool. You know, I'll be waiting. You want the reveal? You want the spoiler? You want to know what happens? Well, one more. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me for this pretty awesome, super awesome, just super bizarre, because I don't know who's out there, rock show from my home high atop the intersection of Rockford Road and Delaware Avenue in beautiful Wilmington, Delaware, home of our nation's president. Yeah. One-time home, full-time home, I guess he's in the White House now. As if punctuation were necessary on this particular set list. As if I needed to put any finer a point on my deep melancholy, on my, wherever I was, I did with this, which we'll give a shot. This was the big closer, and it's me, Chris, Tony, Guy, who played drums? Walker Pettibone, and the fellas from Doe. And it was a big rocker, and my memory is the entire venue was singing along to the chorus. So if you're so moved, go for it. Let's talk this over. It's not like we're dead. It's something I did. It's something you said. Don't leave me hanging. The city's so dead. Hung up so high on such unbreakable thread. You were all the things I thought I knew and thought that we could be. You were everything that I wanted. You were meant to be, supposed to be, but we lost it. And of all the memories close to me just fade away. All that time you were pretending so much for my happy ending. Got your gum friends, you know what they say. They tell you I'm difficult, so they. But they don't know me, they even know you. All the things you hide from me, all the shit that you do. You were all the things I thought I knew. I thought that we could be. You were everything, everything that I wanted. You were meant to be, supposed to be, but we lost it. And of all the memories close to me, you just fade away. All this time you were pretending, so much for my happy ending. Nice to know that you were there. Thanks for acting like you care. Make me feel like I was the only one. It's nice to know we had it all. Thanks for watching as I fall. Let me know that we're done. You were everything, everything that I wanted. It was meant to be, supposed to be, because we lost it. And of all the little memories that would fade away, all this time you were pretending, so much my happy ending. Okay. It ended much bigger than that, man. So that's the scene. A cold winter night. A room not much bigger than this on the Lower East Side. Rockwood Music Hall's a few weeks old. I've been playing rock shows in New York for 15 years. Starting to lose hope. Been dating for 20. Starting to lose hope. I'm single, I'm alone, I'm sworn to getting my shit together by spending 6 months serially single. And I play that just to put a bookend on it, right? Now, if you don't know the story and you got a phone near you, Google Mary Abigail Keller, Benjamin Barons Wagner, New York Times. In the door, I don't see her walk in. Walks one Mary Abigail Keller. The show ends. Song or two later, audience disperses, band leaves. I'm alone at the bar counting tips. And a beautiful blonde woman walks up to me. I can still see the seat. It's right there at Rockwood 1. Right there on the right. Second from the inside. She says, "Nice show. Can I buy you a beer?" I mean, here we are today. So, you know, there's a whole nother story there. Abby's got a whole beautiful tale of her own. Without over-revealing, I'll tell you, she was at a similar place where she said, what I'm doing ain't working, I gotta do something different. And so she went out of her way to go out of her way, found a boy on the internet, and came here and play. And now we got 2 kids downstairs. I'm running math facts, I'm loading dishes. I'm gonna go watch Ted Lasso with her in a minute. And it's maybe the most fucking rock and roll part of all of this rock and roll. From the time I first heard R.E.M. South Central Rain to this moment. Maybe that eventuality, that instant, that even happened, that a confluence of moments, every song I wrote, every record I released, every step she took led to that room on that night. That Matt Curry and Ken Rockwood and all my friends at Rockwood, that it all added up to something, right? It all added up to this. And I love that. It makes me so hopeful. It makes me so grateful. So, this is for her, this is for you. And this is for my friends at Rockwood. If you haven't, you can go back to the invite and tip them, please. Give my friends at Rockwood Music Hall. I'm not going to take any of it. If you go to their webpage, you can find the invite. If you go to my webpage and just give them a tip or something, because these guys are great. These guys have made a home for a whole bunch of wayward people like me. She's got a way of seeing everything worth believing. Keeps wide awake while she's dreaming, and that's how I get by. Get lucky all the time. She's got a way finding only the silver line. Yeah, that's how I get by. Get lucky all the time. She's got a way of forgetting everything worth regretting. Gives it away 'cause she's betting that that's how I get by. Get lucky all the time. Yeah, and that's how I get by. Get lucky all the time. That is a song I did not play that night. It's called Lucky All the Time. I wrote it about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, after Abby refused to let me record the lyrics I had put to that song before. So I said, all right, we're writing about you. And one of the coolest epiphanies after, I guess, nearly 14 years of marriage is how lucky I am. I'm lucky to have my wife as my best friend downstairs watching on Facebook. I'm lucky to have these two awesome kids who are starting to play rock and roll themselves. I'm lucky to have Rockwood Music Hall and Ken and Matt. I'm lucky to have Chris Bod, Tony Maselli, Jamie Allegre, P. Mad, D. Gold, all the crazy cats, Casey Shea, Chris Lopresto. Lucky to have my big brother. And I'm lucky that my parents, hi guys, I'm lucky that my parents said keep doing it. That my mom played Tapestry over and over, Rubber Soul. That my dad played Jim Croce. I'm lucky. And on the hard days, it's the rock and roll and it's that luck that brings us through it, right? One more for you, okay? This is a Rilo Kiley song. I'm pretty sure I can pull it off. I now like to tell my kids that Kylo Ren, the Star Wars character, I just confuse it with Rilo Kiley, the great band with Jenny Lewis. The gig before I met Abigail, to whom I was wed just over 2 years later. I was telling a story and I forgot it completely because as soon as I said wed, I just pictured us underneath that tree saying I do, and I just forgot everything else. That's powerful stuff, man. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Glad you're here. It's the last one. Tippy Bartenders. And thanks. It's 15 miles to the promised land. I promise doing the best I can. Don't fool yourself to thinking you're more than a man, 'cause you'll probably end up dead. Well, I visit these mountains with frequency, and I stand here, arms out. Now, some days they last longer than others. Oh, but this day by the lake, well, it went too fast. And if you want me, you better speak up, 'cause I won't wait. You better move fast. Don't fool yourself thinking you're more than a man. And stand with my arms out. Now some days last longer than others. Oh, but this day by the lake, it went too fast. And if you want me, you better speak up, 'cause I won't wait. You better move fast. If you want me, you better speak up, 'cause I won't wait. Yeah, you better move fast. Yeah, you better move fast. Yeah, you better move fast. Thanks for being here, you guys. Thanks for walking into that door, Abigail. Thanks, Rockwood. You changed my life.